none of us is given unlimited time. If you think about it, a person who is 70 years old has only lived 25,500 days. That's not a lot. Since my time on earth is limited, I want to make the most of each hour. And that's why I use time blocks. Hi there, sweet mommies. This is Sherry Hayes. I'm the mom of 15 children, and I've been homeschooling for 36 years, and I have become very interesting because of it. So, I love to share things with mommies that will help them. And if you're interested in listening, you can grab something to do, like maybe you need to sweep underneath the dryer. So grab that and listen as we dig into the good life in Jesus. Now, we are in a series called Seriously Organized, all right? And I explained all the foundations of this in my other podcasts, but I'm going to go over a few things here just in case you missed it, okay? As I've discussed before in the introduction to this series on being seriously organized, I am the wife of one energetic but retired man, the mother of 15 children, the mother-in-law of 8 spouses, and the grandmother of 20 grandchildren. Now, all of these people need me in one way or another, even if only via concern and prayer, in different ways and at different times. Almost none of their needs are consistent or predictable. Their schedules are mostly erratic, and their needs vary according to age, availability, proximity, and etc. And none of these variables are within my control. To sum things up, I rarely have an uneventful day. My life is like a flowing log drive. I am simply being carried along with the current of the river, jumping from one log to another. However, there are areas which God has helped me build plans and routines, and I am sharing a few of them with you today. As I stated before, I don't share these things without a caveat. The caveat is this: these are the routines God has helped me create for my specific life situation. I suggest you take them more as an example or an inspiration, but never as direct application. If you do, you're going to have a lot of anxiety because you're going to miss out on the most important part, and that is relationship with Jesus. Okay. Walking with God, no matter how crazy that might look, is the fastest way to efficiency for bringing God's kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. Now, any other way may bring about some worldly goal, but that goal may in turn send people to hell. You know, in Nazi Germany, the concentration camps were marvels of efficiency. But thank God, I'll never be that organized in my life. And I know you thank God for that too. Okay, now, today we are going to be tackling 3 areas of serious organizing. Number 1, time blocking. Number 2, creating daily focus areas. And number 3, centralizing. Now, what do I mean when I say time blocks? These are the spans of time in a day that are naturally suited for certain tasks. For instance, when I had young children at home, it was natural to think of early mornings as times to spruce up for the day. Later in the morning, we might think of making breakfast and doing morning chores, or having the active part of our morning. Then the hours before, during, and just after lunch were better for concentrated learning. The early afternoon was spent in quiet and rest, and after this I would send the youngest outside to expel their energy while some of us were getting the dinner ready. After dinner cleanup was family time, then nighttime routines, and then bed. Now, blocks are good because they keep things tidier, right? For one thing. If we know we are supposed to be doing chores in the early morning hours, we can keep the school books put up for that time. Then when the chores are done, we can put away the cleaning supplies and appliances in their proper places and make room for the school books. Later, when it's time to rest, we can put the school books away and tidy for the afternoon. When we don't have boundaries like these set up, Everything gets jumbled together and there is one chaotic mess. Now, also, time blocks help us to have better focus. When we know we are only tackling one thing at a time, we can zoom in and concentrate. Now, they also give security to children. I'll never forget a line in one of the movies that I watched. I forget, with the Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito. And one of the soldiers in that movie said, they went around the room and they asked everyone, why did you join the army? And one of them said, I joined the army to know when dinner was. Because he grew up in a neighborhood that was riddled with drug addiction and all kinds of dysfunctions, and he never knew when it was time to eat, when it was time for dinner. In the army, they had three squares a day, and you knew exactly when you're supposed to eat them, and that gave him security. All right. Now, there is so much in a child's life that is new and unfamiliar. Everything is new. Everything is every day is different for them. New things happen all the time. Knowing what time they can expect dinner or learning time or playtime and family time gives them some continuity and helps them feel better. They feel safer. Okay? When children feel safer, they are much less likely to experience emotional meltdowns and doing bad things just to get attention. If they know, maybe mommy's busy now, but later she's going to hold me, we're going to read a book before bed, then they're less likely to try to get your attention any way they can because they're not sure what's going to happen next, right? Now, another thing about time blocking is they give security to adults, these time blocks. Okay. There is something comforting and restful about knowing what comes next in my day. No matter if my actual time schedule is thrown off, which it is a lot, knowing that the next block, I know at a certain time I'm going to do this. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do that. And it just adds to my own security, knowing that I am eventually going to get to that. Anyway, now, let's move on to creating daily focuses. Now, as I suggested in a past podcast, I have split up my home into zones, such as a kitchen, dining room zone, and then I assigned each of these zones a day for my personal focus. Okay, even if someone is helping me in these different zones daily, I have a day of the week that I focus on different areas. Okay, now this may mean I have a weekly or a monthly or a yearly focus in these different areas, and I don't always know what I'm exactly going to do. That's one of those things I leave up to God. But I do know that I'm going to try to focus and do something extra in a different day of the week, right? So in older times, women had different days assigned to different things. And a lot of them did this like in a communal way. So everybody knew that you were going to be washing on Mondays, right? Okay, here's an example of, a different example. Okay, Sunday was Sabbath day, Monday was cleaning day, Tuesday was laundry day, Wednesday was hobby day, Thursday was shopping day, Friday was business day, and Saturday was family day. So people just knew, well, you didn't bother people on Saturday because they're having their family time, and they would know, oh, she's washing. I know she'll have her wash soaps out, and I need a cup. So they go over it because, they knew these things about each other. And everybody did pretty much the same thing. Isn't that interesting? Here is an example of how I particularly assign my weekly focus areas. Okay, on Mondays, I have extra cleaning in my kitchen and working on my online presence. Tuesdays, I work on the master suite and bathrooms. Wednesdays, I devote to the basement and the laundry room. Thursdays, and my laundry room is a huge storage room, and a lot of things happen in there, so I need to keep up on that. Thursdays, the focus is on putting away the laundry. And so I don't have a lot to do that day in the house. So I also work in, like, if I need to meet with somebody or I have an online consult or something like that. Thursday's the day I can do that. Okay, Fridays are for cleaning the house generally for Sunday. Like I go over like vacuuming and dusting and all that and try to get everything neat for my Saturday, because my Saturdays I devote to resting and relaxing with my husband. And so that's our Sabbath, and it's unto the Lord. And I also go to a fellowship on that Saturday. I'm not a Seventh-day Adventist, but I happen to go to a church where we have a Saturday get-together, so that's when I go. Okay. Sundays are when I have a loose schedule, but I try to catch up with any areas that I'm lacking so that I'll be ready for the next week. Now, please note that there are a whole bunch of other things going on all these days, such as helping with schoolwork, shuffling people around, and regular cooking and cleaning. Thankfully, my dear husband does take care of the yards and the cars, and unless there is something special that I want to do too. Okay, also, when I get a bit of extra time, I try and fit in a special project in each of the areas mentioned, such as cleaning out the fridge door shelves and labeling them, which is something I did last week. Now let's discuss the idea of centralizing. Centralizing, what is that? Well, it's a variation on the theme of a place for everything and everything in its place, only with a slightly different emphasis. Now, I started this many years ago when we lived in a huge house with lots of bedrooms and loads of shoes and socks and hats and scarves and coats and all that kind of stuff. We had a 6-bedroom house, so you can imagine how crazy that was. The job of sorting out all these items and putting them away in everybody's different rooms was so difficult, it actually rarely got done. So we would just have a mess or confusion, right? So what I did was I said, well, fine. We're going to put all the socks in the bottom of the linen closet. We're going to put everyone's shoes in the bottom of the coat closet, everybody's coats in that closet, and all the hats, scarves, and gloves in the top of that closet. So what that meant was when we came in from an outing, everybody knew where everything went. When we left for that outing, then everything was in its place, and we didn't have to go on hunts for everything, like, where's your other shoe? Where'd you, like that, right? You've done it before, I'm certain. So that's what I've done. That's what I've done in that time, and I continue to do that in this day. As I have stated in the other podcasts in this series, my lifestyle of serious organization is based on the biblical idea expressed in this verse. A man's heart plans his course, but the Lord determines his steps. And that's from Proverbs 16:9. In case you are wondering, this does not mean, of course, that I don't plan, as I've talked about it here. But there are two distinctives which make this part of my serious organizational lifestyle important. Number one, I allow God to help me build these plans and routines. They're not from me. I trust Him to help me build them so that they flow with His plans. Number two, I allow these plans and routines to be rerouted or forgotten altogether anytime that He wants to change them. And I do this with grace and understanding that He's going to work something else out, and it's going to work out altogether. It keeps me from being fearful or stressed. Now, if you just stumbled on this podcast, I hope you will take the time to watch the foundational introduction that I made. I'm creating a playlist here, and you can watch the first one. It'll help you get an idea of how we started this and where we're going with it. All right. Now, in the future, we will be covering even more portions of how I organize in a serious way, including creating stations and flowing and purging. And I know you want to know about those things, but you're going to have to wait till next time. Until then, be sure and enjoy the freebies and other things on my website, momdelights.com, as well as my Substack as Mom Delights. And if you're interested, I have produced a planner which includes places for just about everything a large family mom would need. It's undated. You won't be wasting pages if you get off track. So I'll link that below as well. And along with all my other goodies that are on Amazon, I have all those links below this podcast on YouTube and in my podcast notes. All right. Now, I hope this has blessed you, and I hope you have a wonderful time in Jesus today. Bye-bye.